Sean. Let me know when you can hear me. How's it going?
I'm alive. Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad it took a minute because I just had a horrid coughing fit.
Oh, yes. You needed a breather for a second.
One of those like, okay, cool. I'll be in a minute.
Oh, oh, that sounds rough.
It's not fun. I thoroughly want to admonish people at work now.
Oh,
Just
right. Because you're like, clearly one of you guys gave this to me.
one of you motherfuckers.
Oh, I'm sorry. That stinks.
Uh,
Ah,
it's not fun. I don't recommend it.
yeah.
I This is the most human I've felt in since Friday of Thursday or Friday of last week.
Yeah.
Ugh, and I still feel gross.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're like starting to feel better, but that does kind of stink.
I'm getting there. I'll take it over. I think it was Saturday evening into Sunday morning. I was running like 102.7. I'm
Yeah.
like that's almost hospital level fever. I don't want to go to hospital.
Right. No, I don't blame you at all. Yeah, that's rough.
I'm like that is when as an adult I legitimately Googled how much Tylenol is too much. Apparently, I can get away with like, based on my weight, I can get away with like 8 pills in like 2 hours.
Mm,
So that was a fun learning experience. How can I get this down fast? I need this to go away.
mhm. Yeah.
Excuse me. And I'm also like mid pack, like taking stuff off walls and
Yeah. Oh man,
eh,
sick and packing. Oof,
I
what a
know.
week. Yikes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I suffice to say I have not practiced much. Like
that's
I think
okay.
I've practiced more in the past like hour and a half than I have most of the week.
Yeah. That's okay.
Because I was either in a ball on the couch under the blanket or in the bed in a ball under the blanket and just like, no, leave me alone.
Oh.
Let me die.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm gonna bury myself in bed and stay there.
Yes, just
Oh.
all right.
Well, why don't we start with our scale? So we've been working through the minors, and we are on six flats. Is that
Yes.
right? Okay, great. So let's go ahead and play our scale first. Natural minor first.
Da, da, da. Yeah, notes. Uh, so E flat minor. All right. Um, two. Start on two. Start on two.
Yeah, E flat minor.
Yeah. And did we want to do multiple octaves? As like word eludes me.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do four octaves.
Okay. All right. Then left hand or
Yeah.
okay. This is the one I always. There. So had one slip up on an where I hit E natural instead of F, but feeling pretty decent about this one. It's a fairly simple fairly simple pattern once you get it down.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Thingamajigs.
So I wanted us to go through harmonic and melodic minor this week as
Okay.
well.
Okay. So harmonic is where we go. Let's start this hand first. So nope. For it. One, two, three, six. There it is. Yep. Ooh, that one. So going up, it's there it is. That was what I messed up. Oop. Lost my fingering there for a minute, but not terrible.
Let's do it one more time so we can lock that in.
Yeah. Okay. I think I see what I did wrong. I think it was on like right around like G flat 3 or something that I think I used the wrong finger on it, and once I slowed it down, I was like, okay, I think that yeah, that's it.
Yeah, good.
All right.
All right, so melodic minor then?
Uh, 1 second. Maybe the universe will try and kick me in the spine. Oh, this is 6 and 7. So, nope. So, all right. So that one, it's just remembering that it's thumb on C, not it's the C natural, not the oh, not the C flat. Oh, excuse me. More time for that one. That's standard on the way back. Yep. Ooh, everything's settling in the chest. So definitely, I think work on that a little bit this week on the more on the melodic than the harmonic side. The harmonic wasn't terribly different.
Okay.
It was just the raising this the D flat to a D natural.
Mhm.
Okay, whew. Sorry. Thought I was gonna have to make a mad dash there for a minute.
Oh,
If I do make a mad dash, just understand that it's a commonplace
yep.
occurrence.
It's not me. It's just where
Yeah,
you're at.
yeah. Um, so yeah, I think a little bit more work on the melodic this week because that one was the like that's always the one where it kind of trips me up a bit because it's raised going up but normal going back.
Mhm.
And like I get so used to raising on the way up that on the way back I sometimes forget.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
When when it's excuse me, it's easier to do when we're working actually in multiple octaves.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more tricky to remember, so I think
Yeah.
that would be a good thing to drill.
Good. I love it. Let's go ahead and do our 4 octave arpeggio.
Okay. So little dang nabbit, excuse me. A little squirrely on that one. Dude, yep. Nabbit. Ah, still flubbing up on that one. Yeah. All right. Third time's charm. Apparently not. So other than a random D flat sneaking in there every once in a while.
Yeah.
So something else to drill. Oh.
Yeah.
Something else to drill in what, 3 days? Not even?
Can we go through the chords, all of the chords that we have in this key?
Okay. So so nope. Nope. I messed that one last one up. So let's get it in a manageable area here. So where is it? There it is. There. Yeah. So there. Mm, that's the one that always messes me up. Yeah, it's the six chord that I'm always like, no, it's the G. The G is flat. The G is flat. The G is flat. Because I always want to just go flip, and that just sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, G is flat. G is flat.
All right, so excellent. Now let's go ahead and let's do our Hanon exercise next. Should we
Okay.
do number 5?
Ah, I mean, we can.
Okay, let's do it.
Uh, Dang it, this part I would mess it up. Come on now. Ah. Oof. It's that when I was working on it heavy, excuse me, it's that transition from the yeah, it's that right there that is still apparently causing me some issues.
Yeah. So just kind of drilling that particular coordination in that spot.
Yeah, it's
Could we
the
maybe play it 5 times in a row?
sure. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Really? Come on, hands. I don't need you, all right? I don't need you. I don't need you. All right. Part of my struggle, other than my chest is trying to kill me, is what I'm noticing is from the one pattern, it's the finger shift.
Mm.
Like, of course, the one like this would be one of those prime examples of you if you were here sitting next to me or over my shoulder, it would literally be the one time that it actually happens. But but what I'd noticed was it's one hand or the other. I'm noticing primarily in the right is when I switch at the end from the and I hit the C, I'm not shifting from two beyond over, and it was being like one, and it's supposed to be two, but in my right hand, the next combination of fingers ends up being two on the left hand, three on the right, and then it
Mm,
messes up like it messes up the pattern.
yeah. Right. Like you get so used to that pattern and then you get to that point and you're like, wait, it's different now.
Well, it's a little peculiar at that point, like hand position wise.
Yeah. Can you like move your body, like shift your body at all in a way that makes it a little easier to help you? So you're not just like rigid here and expecting your fingers to all of it, but you sort of like help by having flexibility in your body.
That that could be. Ah, that's so right hand is still. I think it's the way that the ascending pattern ends. And strangely enough, because it ends on D at three, it's like a smooshing essentially of the hand to try to get
Right.
my ones back to C.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes your hands are going to feel a little more like smooshed together, close
Yeah, like
together. And sometimes they're going to feel very spread. So we have times where our hands are just like right there, tight
I,
together.
I got like strong hand going on.
Yeah,
Take
right. Where it's like really, really tight. Yeah,
take my
that
strong
does
hand.
happen. I'm sure that you have chords on guitar that you're like, oh, well, that's like really all tight together, you know? And so the same thing can happen with your piano. You're like, maybe.
Oh no, like honestly, I hate bar chords. I hate bar chords. Hated it. And that's where like one finger does like six
All
strings
of
all
it,
at the
yeah.
same time, and then these three have to
Hmm.
do something, and that's usually like that's where your dexterity comes in, like in guitar, because like
Yeah.
an F chord is a barred chord.
Hmm.
It's literally all top fret barred, but with your first finger, and it's again you learn your hand strength there too.
Yeah. Yeah. Bar chords,
But like
they do
when
take a
you're
lot of strength, yeah.
when you're not when you don't have the dexterity, it's immensely painful.
Oh, yeah.
But this
You're all like smooshed together.
and again, it's not even anything. It's not even like it's a sustained motion. It's just a quick shift, But I'm noticing that if I'm not like there's looking at the music and then looking at your hands.
Hmm.
If I'm not looking at my hands at that point, it ain't happening.
Hmm.
Yep. It's one or the other. It's great. Yep.
Yeah, so that's definitely something we'll have to practice and work
Yeah.
on.
Because
It's interesting that like we've been working on it for a while and then this week you're like, huh, this spot. And I feel like that happens so often when I'll be like, I didn't mess up on this spot yesterday, or I didn't have any
yeah,
trouble with it yesterday. And today I have trouble with that. And I'm like, well, the thing I had trouble with yesterday is fine. So on different days, you're going to
it's
discover different things that you need to work on.
it's definitely a little like, come on, just look at my hand. Come on,
Yeah.
you're better than this. We've done this already.
Hey, that's okay. Let's try, we're gonna do number 6 now. So now you know where to work on. So let's go
Okay.
ahead and try number 6.
I think we started with one hand on that one. Yes. Oop. Yeah, this was the one that was really easy because it was very similar to the other exercise.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this one's clicking. That's why you wanted to just skip 5 and go to 6, right?
Apparently. Oh, it was really funny because when I like inadvertently skipped 5 and I'm like, why are these two the exact same damn thing? Like they're literally the exact same damn thing.
That's right. Sometimes we want to reinforce the same techniques again with just a slight twist. Once you play enough piano, you're going to be like, oh, I see it. I see
Uh,
how it's like
I
all
have a
connected and the
feeling.
same things over and over.
All right. And this, which is good googly moogly. Nope. Three line. B. Oh, it doesn't even shift. It just switches. C. Yeah, that's weird. Blah, blah. Okay. The decline's a little wonky.
Yeah.
Um, I think the weirdest thing about it is it goes from that. I've gotten a little too used, like 1 through 4, at least, when you hit middle C, that's where it switches the pattern. But
Yeah.
on this one it isn't. It
Hmm.
it literally just stays at that like B3. So it goes from and then stays there. So B and then goes back to yeah. So that part's going to be a little interesting.
Yeah.
And the other thing that'll be kind of interesting is working this in the right hand because this one's so similar to the left hand exercise. My left hand's uh, damn near muscle memory on this one. But the right hand is kind of new, so that one will be interesting. So it starts here. So now, 3, 2. Ah, nah. Nope. That, yeah, the left hand or the right hand's going to be a little bit of a trick on this one. So
Yeah.
definitely going to be doing some drilling um on the right hand for
Awesome.
this.
Yeah. Hey, that's okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your Bach piece.
Oh. So I did listen to someone play this, but uh, just with the metronome, um, trying bastard. Yeah, check that out. I already had it set up. Like this is the written tempo. It is literally it's the tempo that I listened to
Yeah.
really, really fast. Um,
Well, the tempo that's written there is either from the composer or a recommendation from the editor based on what they know about historic context and, what would have been appropriate for the time period. So if someone plays it at a different speed, it's just because they personally like it that way and want to play it that fast.
uh, man. Which number goes directly to your laptop?
Oh, um, If you send it to my email, it should. I can send you a text through it real quick and then.
I have it. I just have wasn't sure which one would go directly to your laptop. So I just shot the YouTube link to
Cool.
you,
Oh,
and
perfect.
like
Great.
if
Yeah, I
you
got it.
like, dude plays super fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So that was one of those just like, okay, that's a little bit faster than I think I can do. So yeah, it
I
was a
mean,
little bit.
at some point you can.
I again, like when it comes to
Honestly, that's about the speed that I would probably play it at. So,
fair, I think it's also safe to assume that this would be a
yeah.
fairly easy piece for you to just pick up.
Hey, that's okay. Yeah, I think so. The book that this is from, I worked through that book uh, many, many years ago now. It was probably like, I think I worked through that book around like fifth, sixth grade. But I
Ah,
had been playing like really disciplinedly since I was like 5, so
fair.
my mom cracked the whip, you know.
Yeah, my parents like
Yeah,
no, literally anything I've learned, I either had to learn on my own or went
yeah.
had to learn through school.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
violin, guitar,
So it's really
uh,
impressive. I mean, all that
all of
you've
me.
learned is really cool. So I think that's great.
I've been debating on trying to pick the violin back up, but
Oh.
again, it's been such a long time. Like
Yeah, that you feel like, you might surprise yourself. Might be like riding a bike.
this most of like other than the bow motions, stringed instruments are kind of fucking easy. Like in comparison, like I don't like the violin. Literally, worst thing you have to deal with is like rosining your bow.
Oh.
Like I don't have to deal with reeds and valves and you know all of that. Like
That's funny.
I knew people that were really into like the clarinet or the
Hmm.
saxophone, and I'm just like, you pick one up, and I'm like, looks like a torture device. Like what the hell do
My
you do with
sisters
it?
played clarinet and saxophone.
What do you do
I
with it?
played trumpet and baritone and
Trumpets,
sousaphone and all the like brass
trumpets,
instruments growing up in band.
trombones. Those are all impressive just because of like the lip press you
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive to me. Like realistically, any idiot can drag horsehair across a string.
Aw.
Realistically, there's not much basic skill to it. There isn't. Any idiot can do it.
I
Doing it
won't tell
well,
my good friend who plays with a symphony that you said that.
doing it well, an entirely different story. But
Fair.
like,
Well,
guarantee,
you could argue any idiot can press a piano key, but doing it well.
no, this is hands down. Like, it's got to be one of the most like complicated instruments. Oof, like,
Well, you don't have to play it that fast right now. And you shouldn't play it that fast right now. You
we
should slow it down.
it's the weird hands together in like
Yeah.
the second, fourth, etc. measure. where I've got those like isolated octave G's.
Hmm.
It's in the left hand, trying to line it up at anything other than like a snail's pace
Yeah.
is extremely challenging. Like,
So I would say probably work on it hands separately and then hands together. You are going to have to slow it way down to get each note that comes together right lined up together, and that's okay. That's where we all start. And I do that for my pieces as well, where I slow them way, way, way down because otherwise there's no way that I'm going to know that I got everything right. So, um, slowing it way down, breaking it into smaller chunks, finding a spot and going, okay, I'm going to work on just these two measures, for 10 minutes straight, just these two measures. And I'm going to do hands separately. I'm going to conquer that, get it really, really clean hands separately. I'm going to slow it way, way down, line everything up, hands together. And then I gradually speed it up, but you got to slow it way down before you speed it up. Yeah.
yeah,
So, and
it's
another thing you can do for your listening is instead of listening at the full speed of that video, slow it down on YouTube. So go to the little gear shift and slow it down
okay.
so that you're listening at the slower tempo.
It's
Because
just
I find that if you are listening to it, it can really, really trip you up when you're trying to play it and you're going, oh, it doesn't sound anything like that, and you're trying to hear it in your head. So slowing down the video as you listen to it, I think will, you know,
oh,
be better for your ear.
I this is where I get myself in trouble ish. Is I don't want to rely on my ear. I want to rely on the
Yeah.
sheet music
Right.
because that's my ear is usually what it gets me in trouble and it gets me overconfident.
Mm,
And
yeah.
then it's like, oh, I can just listen to stuff and kind of figure it out. And then like there was a piece. I don't even remember which piece I don't remember which piece it was. It was actually on the piano where I'm like, oh, this sounds right. And then I actually looked at the sheet music and I'm like, I'm not even in the ballpark. But like when I would play it from listening to the song, it was like, oh, this sounds correct.
Yeah.
But then I actually looked at the sheet music and I'm like, huh? I'm like, I'm not even in the right like scale.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, okay. Maybe my ear isn't as good as I thought it was. And I've done that. I've One of the big problems on the stringed instruments that I had was um once you learn certain scale patterns, um it's kind of all she wrote. Like you can literally play like once you learn the scale, the chords in the scale and the pattern, which the pattern's
Yep.
always the same, um you can literally do anything in a piece.
Right.
Any
Right. Yeah. The patterns, you
until
start to see them coming again and again and again, those same patterns. And that's why we work so much on the technique so that you can then put that technique into your pieces. Yeah.
and what I don't want for the piano is to be like, oh, I can just listen to it, figure it out, and I don't really need to work on this and like kind of and that also kind of
Yeah.
kills like any hope of like sight reading as well.
Right.
But then it's like
Um,
I'm
so one
playing
thing that
metal.
actually might be helpful to you is getting a sight reading book that just has like they'll start with simpler lines and just like each day you sight read a new line. You don't practice them. You sight read them, you know? So the whole purpose is sight reading them. So you can get like entire books that progressively get more and more advanced. Um, and they'll be just like a line or two each day, and you just like check mark as you go and be like, all right, this one, this one, this one. And the whole purpose is that you've never seen it before, and you're forcing yourself to read off the page and do the
Yeah.
sight. So that actually might be a really good thing for you to try. Um, or like if you have other books, that are simpler books, you probably aren't going to want to sight read at the level you're at. You'll probably want to go a little bit easier than where you're at.
Yeah.
So if you can find, like even at a thrift store, someone has like a bunch of books that their kid learned on, they don't need anymore or something, you know, get
I
some of
mean,
those and just like each day, just sight read a new simple piece.
I could go back through the end of the level one book slash book two.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
I
The reason having a different book is helpful is that you've never heard them before or seen them before. But
fair.
often when you've like put something away long enough, you're like, I don't remember that,
Yeah,
So,
some my logic behind it. Like
yeah.
mm, I
Hmm.
know there's stuff in there that I
Right.
haven't seen in 2 years.
Right, exactly. So I think that
So,
you definitely could do that as well. So just challenging yourself, just pull something out each day.
okay.
Another thing you could do is find, I can send you a link actually. I'll text it to you. Of just like free, I'm thinking of one website in particular, but like free, like beginner pieces, and just each day go through the PDFs that are on the website and just like do a different one each day.
Okay.
So, like pull them up on a tablet or something, or your computer, your laptop, and like set it where you can see it and just like sight read something new each day. So, I will text you that link so you can be doing some sight reading. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd like to improve that because there is still a little bit. I mean, I'm considerably words.
Considerably.
I'm considerably better at it than when we first started.
Oh, definitely.
Um, However, there's still room for improvement,
Yeah.
particularly on the base staff.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
it still requires a little bit more
Hmm.
like process.
Sure.
Like I still have to mentally go
Right.
versus like with the treble staff, it's just like, oh,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
Like so there's
It comes a lot quicker. Yeah, so we've got to work on that base staff to work it up to where your treble clef staff is
yeah,
and being
that's
able to
kind of
read
what
that.
I'd like to do, and then kind of push the envelope a little further on both
Hmm.
and start getting more comfortable with the leisure lines because especially like
Yeah.
in the Hanon exercises there's tons of them.
Hmm. Well, even now, I will struggle with ledger lines, and sometimes it's just like seeing them. I'm like, they're so small. I have to
Yes,
count how many they're like. I'm like,
yes.
I don't, is that a this or this? Yeah. And so like, even if I just would know like how many, sometimes I'm like, I can't tell, like I can't see it. Like if I could blow it up, that'd
So,
be easier.
um,
But yeah, so it does. I mean, ledger lines, I feel like are tricky regardless.
that's,
Like they always tend to be a little bit tricky forever.
that's kind of creepy, but I was gonna say
Mhm.
I was like looking through like deeper into the book, and of course the first thing I flipped to on page 41 is Minuet in G minor. And I'm like, really? Like, are there are other things other than Minuet, damn it. Ooh, that's a lot of triplets. Wow. But now I know I saw one in here.
Yeah.
Um that like it was pretty heavy on
Yeah.
the leisure lines.
Hmm.